I divorced my wife once back in kindergarten, saying that being with her was too hard and that I preferred mature older sisters, which made the girl cry on the spot, vowing to make me see clearly when she grew up. But 10 years later, just entering the workplace, she actually parachuted into our company as the newly appointed female CEO. This is bad. She won't give me a hard time, will she? At this moment, I was sitting at my workstation playing Spider Solitaire when my colleague next to me saw this and hurriedly reminded me, "Daiki, stop spacing out. A new female CEO arrived at the company today and I heard she's an ice beauty. Careful not to get caught slacking off." I laughed and said, "Got it, thanks bro." Half an hour later, a figure with a baby face peeked her head out from the company's main entrance. Her cute face and tall, graceful figure seeming completely incompatible. The moment the woman appeared, she immediately attracted everyone's attention in the company, and almost all the employees looked up at the new CEO. But I was the only one with my computer open, focused on playing Spider Solitaire. Kotoe's gaze was instantly drawn to me, but the moment she saw my profile clearly, her whole body froze right on the spot, her originally cold eyes turning soft and her long eyelashes blinking, looking quite adorable. Under her prolonged gaze, I only felt a chill down my back. This is bad. Did she catch me slacking off? Under that piercing gaze, I kept clicking until a sound of high heels walking away came from behind me. Only then did I dare to look up and see what the new female CEO looked like. When I saw the female CEO's face, I was instantly dumbfounded, not because I was stunned by her beauty, but because this female CEO was exactly the girl I had rejected before. Back in kindergarten, I played house with her for fun, but I didn't expect her to take it seriously and insist on dragging me to be her husband until I disliked her for being too small, after which she cried and transferred schools. I didn't expect to meet her again in high school, where she had already become a genius girl in the top class, able to learn 3 years worth of content in just 1 year. I remember back in the second year of high school, Koto secretly had a crush on me, and finally one day she appeared before me coyly, her little face as red as a boiling kettle, steaming with passion as she politely handed over a love letter. But for the sake of her studies, I pretended to dislike that she wore white socks all day, saying she must have smelly feet, and rubbed my head to reject her out of kindness. Kotoe cried on the spot and ran down the hallway with tears in her eyes. I still vividly remember how the little girl cried her eyes out back then. At this moment, I muttered in my heart, "She probably didn't recognize me, right? I rejected her back then, so she won't give me a hard time, will she?" Meanwhile, after Kotoe entered her office, she collapsed straight onto her chair, threw off her high heels without any regard for her image, and then took out a few gummy bears from her pocket, put them in her mouth, and showed an expression of pure enjoyment. This was high-sugar food that her parents wouldn't allow her to eat, so she could only do it secretly. Although she was a bit playful in private, she was still excellent at management. After all, Kotoe could become this CEO, not just because her dad was rich, but more because she was a favored daughter of heaven, maintaining first place in academic performance from childhood to university, all around capable in sports and musical instruments, and the men pursuing her around her were countless. However, after Kotoe glanced through the window at me slacking off, she couldn't help but pout. Yet, she had been rejected twice by this man, and now they met again, and in such a special way. Thinking about it, Kotoe's little face suddenly turned red. Suddenly, the office door opened, and after the secretary entered, she saw Kotoe's face flushed red. "President Yi, what's wrong with you? Do you have a fever?" Kotoe, like a startled cat with bristling fur, immediately sat up straight, a serious expression returning to her face. "No, nothing! Next time you come in, remember to knock first." Right after, Kotoe seemed to think of something, pointed her finger at me, who was slacking off at my workstation, and asked, "That guy out there who's slacking off, what's his name?" The secretary looked in the direction Kotoe pointed and immediately replied, "His name is Daiki, a new video reviewer, and he has only been working for half a month." The secretary didn't think too much of it, and then took out a mountain of documents. "These are the materials for each department of the company that you asked for earlier. Please take a look." However, Kotoe only glanced at it with little interest. I already understand the company's situation. Within 3 minutes, I want all the information on this person named Daiki. The secretary looked like she had heard something incredible, her head full of question marks, but she could only nod and agree. Time quickly came to 10 o'clock, and just as I stretched and yawned, I saw a figure walk out of the CEO's office. Koto was holding a cartoon water cup, watching the water dispenser intently as she filled it with hot water. And my workstation happened to face the water dispenser. Seeing the young CEO acting so casually, she probably didn't recognize me, right? Thinking of this, I happily ate potato chips to celebrate and lowered my head to continue reviewing videos. However, Koto's peripheral vision kept watching me. At my workstation, I had just deleted a vulgar video, and right after, I found a video of a girl dancing in black silk stockings, so I watched it repeatedly and carefully, trying to find any borderline content. However, the next moment, a very pleasant fragrance came from behind, and the beautiful girl's small and soft chin landed on my shoulder, her bright red lips parting slightly. "You look very focused." This sudden scene made my whole body stiffen, and when I turned my head, I discovered it was actually Kotoe. She had somehow gotten behind me, and being caught red-handed doing this kind of thing made me instantly guilty and stammer. Wait, I actually heard a slight hint of jealousy from Kotoe's voice just now. What's going on? But I first answered her. Don't misunderstand, my job is to carefully review every video. This is our responsibility. I thought I had found a great excuse to brush it off, but Kotoe tilted her head slightly, her beautiful eyes staring at my dodging eyes. Just as I was about to be stared out of my wits, a meaningful smile suddenly appeared on Kotoe's face. Humph, why do I feel like you look so familiar? Have we met somewhere before? Hearing this sentence, I almost lost it. I was already afraid of being recognized by Kotoe, so I forced an excuse. Haha, everyone says I look like Takuya Kimura, so it's normal that you find me familiar. I spread my hands casually to show it was no big deal, but unexpectedly, Koto couldn't help but burst into laughter. Daiki, you're so funny! Although you are indeed a bit handsome, this is the first time I've seen someone use that as an excuse. When I heard the words Daiki, my mind suddenly went blank, and after freezing for 2.5 seconds, I stammered nervously, "Classmate yay, no President yay. You've mistaken me for someone else, right?" I tried to make one final attempt to save myself, but it was useless. Kotoe put her hands on her hips and humped. Humph, how could I be mistaken? You were the one who abandoned me back then, making me cry for a whole night, crying until my eyes were swollen. You smelly man. I widened my eyes and gestured for her to lower her voice. President Yi, don't talk nonsense in front of so many people! Seeing my helpless appearance, Koto playfully stuck out her little tongue. She was a straightforward person, and when she decided on something, she wouldn't care about others' opinions, nor did she care that there were other people in the office area. At this time, the colleagues around me were all stunned. Originally, they thought the female CEO came to check if I was slacking off, but they didn't expect the two of them to be classmates, and the female CEO seemed to be the one who was abandoned. At this moment, Kotoe's red lips curled up. Daiki, the company has been very busy lately. Since you are so conscientious and responsible, could you work an extra hour of overtime for the company? My face instantly turned into a bitter gourd. Why do I have to work overtime? But Kotoe smiled even more brilliantly. Haha, then you can leave work together with me. Aren't you happy? Hearing this, I widened my eyes. Happy my foot! Is this her starting to give me a hard time? But since the other party was the top boss, I had to agree, thinking in my heart that as long as I left early when work ended, I shouldn't be pestered. After getting a confirmed reply, Kotoe skipped back to her office feeling delighted in her heart. She felt that she still liked Daiki, but it was no longer as timid as in the past. Now she was very brave and definitely had to seize this opportunity. Seeing Kotoe leave, I felt a headache. How did I get stuck with this girl? Why is it so hard to be a slacker? Before I could recover my emotions, my colleagues exploded again. Daiki, you're amazing. You've even dated the female CEO before? Teach me. To this, I could only laugh it off and continue slacking to pass the time. Time quickly came to the afternoon. I looked at the empty coffee cup, planning to get up and exploit the capitalists' resources again, but was suddenly pressed back into my seat by someone. Kotoe had actually appeared behind me silently again, showing a sweet smile like the girl next door. "Daiki, sit down quickly. Let me help you make coffee." Saying that, she reached out to take the empty cup from my hand. I immediately put on a flattered expression. "I'll do it myself." What I thought in my heart, however, was that I didn't want to get too involved with this woman. However, Kotoe snatched the cup away. "What does it matter? I'm the boss, can't I care about my employees?" When Kotoe came back after making the coffee and handed it to me, I could only nod and thank her. I originally thought Kotoe would leave after delivering the coffee, but unexpectedly, she pulled over my colleague's chair and sat right next to me. "Daiki, your work must be very tiring, right? Then let me keep you guys company." Saying that, she blinked her beautiful eyes. Only now did I realize that Kotoe hadn't given up because of that rejection in high school, but instead used the current superior-subordinate relationship to get close to me. Thinking of this, I braced myself and met the challenge. Work makes me happy, how could I be tired? But Kotoe was like a clingy little cat, sitting right next to me and staring at me intently. Having entered a focused work mode, I immersed myself in my work and remained silent the whole time. In the end, Kotoe couldn't help but speak. "Daiki, do you still remember that time in high school?" "I remember. At that time, I especially liked watching you play basketball, especially the one-handed dunk. It was really super cool. Being praised by a beautiful girl, I was still a bit proud inside, but actually, that time in PE class was really quite embarrassing. I originally wanted to dunk in a cool posture, but I messed up halfway through and ended up kneeling straight on the ground, giving a New Year's greeting to the audience, so I was too embarrassed to bring it up." Kotoe continued to reminisce. "And also, you are super caring. Every day after school, I could always see you feed the poor stray dogs on time." But this made me embarrassed again, because in the second year of high school, there was a very fierce stray dog that often chased me as soon as school was over. If I didn't feed it, it would chase me for 3 blocks, so I had to feed that stray dog once every day after school. After chatting for a while, Kotoe finally stopped reminiscing, and she quietly lowered her voice. "Tell me secretly, do you have a girl you like here? I can help you confess." Although on the surface she looked like she was thinking of me, her tone carried a full amount of jealousy. If I really told her there was a girl I liked here, I would probably be invited to drink tea the next day, however. I decided to tease Kotoe, so I also whispered to her, "Of course there is. Are you really willing to help me?" Kotoe's little face immediately dropped. She originally just wanted to test me, but she didn't expect me to really say I had someone I liked. She asked in a babyishly fierce tone, "Quickly say, who is that person?" Seeing Kotoe turn into a startled cat with bristling fur, my interest was also piqued, and I made a funny face at her. "Heh, I won't tell you." Kotoe was like a cat about to explode with anger, immediately deciding to investigate thoroughly to find this woman. Seeing that I hadn't spoken for a while, Kotoe moved her chair again, her body slowly leaning over. "Oh, what are you doing?" My heart skipped a beat. Was she gonna use force since soft tactics didn't work? But Kotoe just smiled sweetly, and right after she took a deep sniff at my chest. "The perfume on you really smells so good." I was instantly stunned and didn't know how to respond. What kind of terrible excuse did she find? I'm clearly a pure man who has never sprayed perfume. Next, Kotoe didn't say much either, just sitting quietly next to me watching me review videos, offering some of her own insights from time to time. Just like that, evening arrived, and feeling tired, I couldn't help but yawn. Out of the corner of my eye, I looked at Kotoe and saw her slowly falling to one side, worried that her head would hit the desk. I extended my palm to support her face. I carefully looked at her expression. This woman couldn't be faking sleep right now, could she? But the next second, I dismissed that thought. Kotoe was sleeping like a total dummy, and she even drooled all over my hand. If this was seen by others, not only would her persona as a cold female CEO collapse, but even her title as an elegant, beautiful girl couldn't be saved. However, this peaceful and silly appearance was actually quite cute. Kotoe rolled over and directly pressed down on my right hand, which was operating the mouse. I was puzzled. The office was so big, Why didn't she go back to sleep? Could it really smell better sleeping next to me? Turning over her little face that was pressing down on my hand, I moved the computer to the left, leaving a large space for her. Gradually, Kotoe talked in her sleep while drooling. Daiki, I don't allow you to like other girls. Don't reject me again, okay? Although her voice in her sleep was a bit blurry, listening carefully, it could still be clearly heard. I curled my lips into a smile, not paying too much attention, neither agreeing nor denying. When Kotoe woke up, she twisted her graceful waist and opened her mouth to yawn, and only then did she notice that because her sleeping movements were so large, she had already squeezed her beloved man into the corner. Daiki, I'm sorry. Looking at her, lowering her head to admit her mistake, I smiled faintly. It's fine. But I felt that her appearance was really quite cute. Kotoe obediently rubbed her relaxed eyes and then turned around to leave with her company. This sleep was truly so sweet. It was the best sleep I've had in all these years. I put the computer back in its place and continued working, and time quickly came to 5 p.m. Since I had to work overtime, almost all the colleagues around me had left. But there was still one colleague left named Shota. He patted my shoulder and showed a meaningful expression. Brother GU, you're still young. When you encounter an opportunity, you must grasp it well. Be more proactive in daily life, and you won't have to work hard for the rest of your life. Looking at his wretched smile, 3 black lines appeared on my forehead. What on earth is he talking about? I don't want to live off a woman at all. Ah, the young really don't know the sweetness of a rich woman. Seeing how unresponsive I was, Shota could only shake his head helplessly, pack his things, and leave work too. After another period of time, I was the only employee left in the company. Looking at the clock, it was almost 6 p.m. I quickly seized the opportunity, got up with my computer, and immediately denied the thought. As long as I run fast enough, love will never catch up with me. Besides, I still have things to do at home, and I haven't played games for a long time. Women will only affect the speed of my hands when playing games. I walked quickly to the door, just about to catch my breath, but right at that moment, a fair little hand, like a ghost, quietly landed on my shoulder. I was startled and stood frozen on the spot. At this time, a sweet voice carrying a complaint came to my ears. Daiki, why are you leaving in such a hurry? Are you trying to avoid me on purpose? When I turned my head, I discovered that Kotoe had appeared behind me again. She tilted her little head, staring at me cutely. No way! This is behind the main gate, so she has been waiting here all along, like waiting for a rabbit to run into a tree? This is a massive trap. I shrugged my shoulders and found a lame excuse. Yes, it's just that I have things to do at home. Hearing this, Kotoe felt a little angry, but also wanted to laugh. Though luckily, she held it back, her pretty face constantly approaching me. I thought you wanted to do something and hurriedly dodged to the side. What are you doing? Kotoe smiled faintly. We're off work, there's no one around here, and there are no cameras. Shouldn't we do something between us? I was extremely shocked. How could such words come out of a beautiful girl's mouth? I admit I'm a bit tempted now, but I still have professional ethics, so I subconsciously protected my body with both hands. Kotoe smiled triumphantly. I was just playing with you. It's time to get off work. Let's go. After saying that, she playfully stuck out her tongue, and only then did I wipe away my sweat. But what's with this inexplicable sense of disappointment? All along the way, Kotoe followed behind me, asking endlessly, Daiki, are you happy today? Do you take the bus? Where do you live now? I let out a helpless sigh. I ride a bicycle. It's getting late. You should go back quickly too. Kotoe stopped her steps, putting her small hands in front of her, looking a bit fidgety. That? My car is gone, so can I trouble you to send me home? I looked puzzled. How is that possible? I clearly saw you drive it out earlier. I stared into Kotoe's eyes, wanting to expose her scheme, but unfortunately, she still had an apologetic look. Daiki, if you don't believe it, can you go look? No acting cue! Acting cue! I finally couldn't stand it anymore and immediately stopped her inadvertent cute behavior, otherwise my body would almost soften up. Hearing this, Kotoe showed a little aggrieved expression, and then I followed her to a pink Lamborghini. I wanted to see how much gasoline was left, but when I looked, I found that there really wasn't a single drop left. Koto was still sighing with disappointment on the side. "Oh dear, the car consumes too much gas lately. It ran out of gas after driving for just a short while." 2 black lines popped up on my forehead. No wonder I saw her drive the Lamborghini out earlier. She must have purposely driven a huge circle to drain the fuel completely before driving it back, right? It must be exactly like that, otherwise it couldn't be such a coincidence. To make me send her home, she really went through a lot of trouble. Finally, under my gaze, Kotoe's eyes became a bit dodging. "Then you can take a taxi back or call someone else to pick you up." I didn't intend to fall for her trick. Sending her back would definitely involve more trouble along the way. I turned to leave, but Kotoe grabbed my arm. "Boo-hoo, Daiki. Do you really have the heart to watch a girl like me take a taxi home alone at night?" Good grief. Seeing her plan exposed, she started acting cute again. She was like a piece of clingy candy that couldn't be pulled off. But in the end, I really didn't feel at ease with her taking a taxi back alone. After all, she is only 18 years old and still so innocent. Ultimately, I really couldn't resist her cute offensive and agreed. This time, she was either shaking my hands or rubbing her little face against my arm. She was simply too cute for words. I'm afraid even an iron-willed straight man would be melted by her. But speaking of which, is she really that comfortable with me sending her home? A bicycle can't carry a passenger, right? I heard that getting caught results in a fine. So you were worried about this. Daiki, do you think I lack this little bit of fine money? Kotoe puffed out her cheeks again, looking incredibly cute. I felt a bit helpless. It seemed a fine really wasn't a big deal to her. I heard that if we get caught, we'll even be detained. This statement had some effect. She let go of my small hand, rubbed her thumb, and began to think seriously. Finally, she pursed her lips before deciding on a plan. "Then if the traffic cop uncle catches us, you run first and I'll cover the rear, don't worry about me." Hearing this, I immediately showed a look as if looking at a little idiot. What she said sounded quite inspiring, but if we were really caught and detained, there's no way I would leave her alone. However, I suddenly thought of a new problem. My house is in the University City. We aren't on the same way, right? Oh, that's such a coincidence. Didn't I say we are fated? I happen to live in the University City too. Darn it, now my last shred of hope is gone too. Actually, there are many ways to dissuade her, but I can never wake up a girl who is pretending to sleep. Then I came to the electric scooter. Kotoe stared at me with a bit of annoyance. That's right, to get rid of her, I lied. Actually, I ride an electric scooter. After getting on, I controlled the direction, while Kotoe sat sideways slowly in the back. This picture of a handsome guy and a top-tier beautiful girl sharing an electric scooter ultimately attracted the gaze of many people. The scooter started, and Koto extended both hands to hug me tightly, her little face pressed against my back, refusing to let go no matter what. Since high school, she had been looking forward to hugging the person she liked like this. But it was only realized now, which made Kotoe's little face overflow with a happy expression. A few minutes later, the two arrived near the University City, and a lively night market on the side attracted Kotoe's gaze. Her stomach also started to make a rumbling sound at this moment. "Daiki, there's a food stall here that's very lively. Can we go in and eat something before going back?" "I'm so hungry." "Not going? I just want to rush home and play games now. I don't want to accompany her at all." How could a girlfriend be more fun than games? Besides, I don't lack a girlfriend, so there's absolutely no need to coax her, right? "Is it okay, Daiki? People are hungry. You must be hungry too. Let's just go eat a meal together." Soon she started to make trouble behind me again, gently shaking me. That cute voice echoing in my heart. It has to be said, I could hardly resist a beautiful girl's acting cute. Ultimately, I controlled the direction and plunged into the night market of the University City. Soon I parked the scooter, and Kotoe got down from behind with some whining. "Oh dear, my little butt is tired from sitting." I rolled my eyes. The night wind was a bit chilly, and as a breeze blew past, Kotoe, who was walking on the side, instantly shrank her neck. I noticed this small detail, took off my jacket, and draped it over her shoulders. Looking at the jacket, Kotoe stared with surprise in her beautiful eyes. "Daiki, why are you suddenly so good to me?" But I just replied flatly, "Because I'm hot. You don't want it, right? Then give it back to me." But at this moment, Kotoe was like a little cat protecting food, quickly grabbing both sides of the jacket to prevent me from taking it away. "No! Who said I don't want it? Since it's draped over me, I won't return it to you." She blinked playfully, secretly rejoicing in her heart. Looking at her like this, I felt she was simply exploding with cuteness, really making me want to pick her up and slam her down hard. Before long, the two walked into the snack street. This place was truly a mountain of people and a sea of crowds, a paradise for foodies, with barbecue, milk tea, Odin, seafood, and so on. Everything one could wish for. "It's stinky tofu. Daiki, I really want to eat it. Can you buy it for me?" I turned my head and glared at her. "Hey, big boss, you haven't paid this month's salary yet?" Actually, stinky tofu isn't expensive, but I wouldn't just buy it for her because of a single sentence. I can't spoil her like this. "Is that so?" Koto was a bit puzzled, not expecting that I wouldn't buy it for her because of such a small issue, so she took out her phone and tapped on the screen a few times. Looking at her behavior, before I could stop her, I suddenly received a notification of a transaction. Alipay received 1 million yuan. Kotoe raised her little face with a smile. "All right, now can you buy me more delicious food?" My face was full of black lines, staring at her with a look as if looking at a little idiot. This spendthrift girl, I should return the money to her later, otherwise, who knows if she will use this matter to pester me every day. At her request, I ordered 2 portions of stinky tofu. Seeing this, Kotoe rubbed her small hands with anticipation, drooling and licking her lips. I looked at her with some curiosity. "A young lady like you also likes to eat this?" Kotoe immediately winked at me. "Hee hee, of course. My sisters all love to eat it. Also, this is a secret between the two of us. Okay? Absolutely do not tell my secretary, otherwise she will definitely report to my parents, and they will criticize me harshly after knowing it." Since Kotoe's parents don't allow their only baby to eat street food, she has always been very obedient and filial, so even if she ate it secretly, she would absolutely not tell her parents. I felt as if I had caught her little secret, staring at her with a wicked smile. "Don't worry, tomorrow morning I will tell the secretary." "You're cheating. You're not allowed to say it. Daiki, you are the best." She shook my arm, rubbing her little face against my clothes again, and ultimately, I helplessly spared her. Soon, 2 portions of fragrant, stinky tofu were ready. I took them with both hands, blew on them several times for her, and then handed them to her. Kotoe used a toothpick to pick up a piece, putting it into her bright, red, small mouth, a chewing sound rising as she made a blissful sound. "So delicious. Hey, Daiki, why aren't you eating?" She snapped back to reality and found my gaze staring blankly at her, immediately becoming embarrassed. "Oh," gathering my thoughts, I responded flatly. Just now, I actually lost my mind. I picked up a piece of stinky tofu to taste, although the flavor was very good. It wasn't as delicious as the one bought at the school entrance when I was a kid. So after taking a few bites, I stuffed all of it to her. Kotoe, filled with joy, eliminated piece after piece, during which a drop of oil accidentally fell onto her smooth, fair thigh, being sticky and making her very uncomfortable. Kotoe raised her head, blinking her cute eyes and acting cute. "Daiki, can you help me wipe the oil off my leg?" I always feel this request and tone carry some inexplicable temptation. This isn't good, right? I looked into her eyes and didn't see any sign of anger, but I still refused. After all, men and women shouldn't touch each other carelessly. "Don't you have hands yourself? Wipe it yourself." Seeing that I wouldn't help, Kotoe's face was instantly full of grievances, and she used her face to rub against me pitifully again. "But Daiki, look, aren't my hands full of things?" I looked and felt very helpless, only able to reluctantly extend my hand, pulling out a tissue. Her thigh wasn't like those mature female CEOs. It didn't have any concealment, her slender legs being like 2 bamboo poles with a super beautiful proportion, but I couldn't appreciate it. Harboring a pure heart, I held the tissue to help her wipe. Almost at the instant of contact, I felt Kotoe's body seem to shiver, as if struck by electricity, and after using 2 tissues, I finally wiped it clean. The 2 continued to walk inside the snack street. I wanted to just find a place selling stir-fried dishes to eat my fill. But Koto insisted on wandering around to buy small snacks to eat, buying wheel cakes and roasted pig trotters along the way, hand-beaten shrimp paste, fried yogurt, and so on, several of which I had never eaten before because I'm not interested in sweets, only looking curiously at the production method. Having bought a huge pile of food, I began to proactively help carry it. There was no choice. Who told her to be the female CEO? And I also had to let Kotoe free up her hands to eat food. Of course, she would also reward me from time to time, just like now, lifting a wheel cake that had been bitten in half and handing it to my lips, except that the opening above was covered with bright red lipstick. 51. I shook my head and refused on the spot. If I ate it, it would definitely count as an indirect kiss, and I wouldn't fall for it. Seeing this, Kotoe whined as the two walked along, coming to a spicy crawfish stall. At this time, Koto's face was full of joy. Wow, I love eating spicy crawfish the most! On the counter of the snack stall, there were many small basins containing live crawfish according to the portions. Kotoe leaned down and thought it was fun. So she extended her finger into the basin, and by the time I discovered it, it was already too late. Holy cow, is she always this brave? Unsurprisingly, she was pinched by a crawfish, her fair and tender skin immediately causing her to cry out in pain. It hurts! 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 Is it fun? I scolded her, and then gently used my hand to carefully pry open the crawfish's front claw that was pinching her. And only then was her finger liberated. It hurts so much, boo-hoo! Just being pinched once made Kotoe cry like a child. I can't take it anymore. I am simply about to be melted by this scene. At this moment, she was like a little idiot, blowing whoosh, whoosh on her own little finger. Seeing this, I held Kotoe's finger, and amidst her confusion, I gently put her finger into my mouth. Feeling the warmth from the fingertips, Kotoe instantly didn't feel the pain. She slowly widened her beautiful, cute eyes, looking at me with a blushed face. I immediately explained to her, "Don't misunderstand, okay? I just didn't bring a Band-Aid, but saliva can stop bleeding to a certain extent." "Oh," Kotoe's sandalwood-like small mouth responded, looking very well behaved. Daiki really cares about me." I didn't know what she was thinking. After a while, I let go of my mouth, and then gently wiped it for her with a tissue. But Kotoe quickly turned her head and shouted to the owner of the food stall, "Boss, I want 4 portions of super spicy crawfish." The crawfish had bitten her, and being unresigned, she of course had to bite back, so she ordered 4 portions all at once. The boss on the side was startled and nodded repeatedly. Seeing this, I rolled my eyes and sat down in the cleanest spot. Kotoe looked at the finger that had been held in the mouth, deep in thought with the corners of her mouth slightly raised. She seemed to be thinking about something strange, making me wipe away a sweat. Soon, 4 portions of crawfish were served, and Kotoe quickly put on gloves and began to peel the shells carelessly to taste. "Let you bite me, I'm going to bite you too." I wasn't interested in crawfish either, sitting silently on the side watching her eat. Although her manner of eating was a bit exaggerated, beautiful women seem to look good eating anything. I've heard people say that a girl will only eat without any regard for her image when she doesn't treat the other person as an outsider. But after eating a few, Kotoe suddenly began to peel the shrimp on her own. She was very serious about putting the peeled meat into the bowl, and one didn't know what she wanted to do either, only seeing the small bowl gradually being filled up. After a moment, she pushed the bowl over with both hands, pouting her lips towards me with a face full of smiles. "Daiki, for you to eat!" My eyes lit up, but I turned my head to the side proudly. "Don't want it! I can peel it myself. You eat quickly, and let's leave quickly after eating." "No way! This is what I peeled with my own hands. You must finish it, or else let me feed you, right?" Koto suddenly thought of this point, and she immediately pinched a piece of shrimp meat and handed it to my lips. The shrimp meat quickly caught the saliva coming out of the corner of my mouth. This time, I had to eat it whether I wanted to or not. "All right." After I responded, only then did I reluctantly eat it. Seeing this, Kotoe quickly handed over another piece of shrimp meat. I hurriedly waved my hand at her. "No more! No more! Quickly eat it yourself! Eat! If you don't eat, I will keep holding it up." Kotoe's little face was puffed up with anger as she pouted her lips, and I had absolutely no way to deal with her. Under her feeding, a whole bowl of shrimp meat was unexpectedly eaten by me until almost none was left. Actually, I didn't like eating crawfish at all, but this time, the shrimp meat peeled by Kotoe's own hands seemed to taste much sweeter and fresher than what I had eaten before. Moreover, her doting appearance made the shrimp meat carry a few bits of a different kind of deliciousness. Just at this moment, I suddenly saw an inviting scene outside the stall. There were 3 beautiful girls wearing black silk stockings passing by, and each of them, intentionally or unintentionally, threw flirty glances at me. This made me look for a bit longer, not because of how beautiful they were, but because these girls looked like they were still students, yet they actually wore black silk. As the 3 beautiful girls walked past, they discussed secretly, "Hey, that handsome guy just now was looking at us." Of course. After all, we are so good-looking. But he is really handsome, super like Fukushi. Could it be that celebrities also come here to eat? Don't talk nonsense, okay? That brother is clearly even handsomer than Yu Yan. How about we turn around one more time to add his WeChat? Forget it, the little sister opposite him is so pretty. She is simply even better looking than celebrities. She should be his girlfriend, and she looks very fierce. The 3 girls exchanged excitedly. Although their voices were small, actually, I heard all of it. I retracted my gaze very speechlessly. However, the next moment, my thigh was gently kicked from underneath by someone. I looked at Kotoe with an innocent face. "Hey, why did you kick me?" Jealously appeared on Kotoe's little face. "Do you like looking at it that much? Then I will also wear black silk to work tomorrow." My heart rejoiced. Holy cow, this company's benefits are a bit high. Looking at Kotoe opposite me, who had a babyishly fierce and dead serious look, I held back my laughter and then opened my mouth to her with a serious face. "Not allowed to wear it!" But as soon as the words came out of my mouth, I felt something was a bit wrong. Why did I care about her? Hearing this, Kotoe showed an expression of disbelief because the boy she liked actually ordered her not to wear it. This kind of feeling was just like he belonged to her as her own private treasure. "Why?" she asked in a teasing tone, squinting her eyes, his little face slightly red as he lowered his head. "Anyway, just not allowed to wear it, there's no reason." My attitude was very tough. After all, she is only 18 years old. Wearing it like that for me to see is one thing, but if it were seen by so many colleagues, what would it look like? Yes, that's right. I explained it to myself in my heart, and only then did I forcibly let out a sigh of relief. Kotoe slightly raised the corners of her mouth, responding obediently. "All right." Her eyes were filled with delight. After a while, the 2 finished all the delicious food, and it was already 8:30 p.m. And at this time, Kotoe ordered 2 more cups of pearl milk tea. After this time, I discovered that girls are really gigantically able to eat, clearly having such a slender waist. Yet no matter how she ate, not even a tiny bit of rise and fall could be seen. I couldn't even drink down the milk tea that was served, but looking at her appearance, it seemed she could have 2 more cups. Kotoe held the milk tea, her small mouth sucking on it. She suddenly saw a couple not far opposite who were drinking the milk tea in each other's hands in a cross-cupped way. She felt this method was very novel, immediately approaching me and requesting to try. "Daiki, look at the couple over there. They are so sweet. Let's also drink cross-cupped milk tea like them, okay? Is it okay? Please, please." She was just like a little baby cat, clawing at my hand, but this time, no matter what she said, I wouldn't agree. You've said it yourself. That's something only done between couples. I am not that bored. If I wouldn't spoil her. After all, we just came out to have a meal. How could it develop to this step? Humph. You will never find a girlfriend like this. After being rejected, Kotoe stamped her feet on the spot with anger. In the end, the more she thought about it, the angrier she got, quickly and gently punching my chest once, and then, as if afraid of being caught, she turned around with a grinning face and began to run away. Feeling her soft blow, I was very exasperated. She was really spoiled by me, daring to punch me when angry. But just as Kotoe turned around, she was tripped by a stone. Her body tilted, and it was very obvious that she was about to have a close contact with the ground. I was quick-eyed and agile, immediately catching her waist, and then with another force, pulled her back. The petite body, along with my exertion, plunged into my arms with a thud. Startled me. The scene just now indeed gave Kotoe a bit of a shock, right? After a pause, she came back to her senses, discovering herself being held in someone's arms, with the heartbeat of his beloved person coming from her ear, which made a flush of blush rise on her little face. Having obtained a sudden encounter, she buried her little face into my arms with effort, vigorously inhaling the cherry blossom fragrance on my body. "Hey, Koto, what are you doing?" "Hold for a bit longer, right?" "No way! Hugging and clinging, what kind of decorum is that? Let go of me!" I immediately wanted to break free. I had been taken advantage of by this girl once again. Kotoe playfully stuck out her little tongue, and then acted cute with a sweet voice. I won't! No, I won't!" I really wanted to pinch her tongue to see how she could stick it out in the future. But it was also a close call just now. Kotoe was almost about to get hurt from a fall. At this time, a drizzle suddenly started to fall from the sky. But after a short while, the rain got bigger and bigger. Kotoe anxiously held my hand and ran towards the carport. I didn't object. The clothes were all about to get wet, so who cared about these things? Before we could run to the carport, the drizzle turned into a torrential downpour, and the two helplessly could only find a place to hide from the rain first. Kotoe was very familiar with the terrain here. She held my hand, turning left and right to arrive inside a small alley. "Daiki, here, we can hide from the rain." Only then did I discover it was a wall ledge, and it could only hide one person. The wind was very strong, and Kotoe's hair was all wet, but she seemed to not care at all. "Daiki, squat down quickly." I didn't know what she wanted to do, so I had to do as told. Kotoe stood and spread out her clothes like an umbrella, blocking this torrential downpour for me. Even though he himself was soaked all over, he was still showing off proudly, with a happy face. "Hee, this way my Daiki won't get rained on." Being a bit moved, when I was prepared to get up, I was firmly pressed down by Kotoe. "Not allowed to get up. What if you catch a cold from the rain? If you ask for leave and don't come tomorrow, I won't be able to see you." Seeing this, I was very helpless. It turned out Kotoe was making this kind of plan. In the end, I couldn't outdo her, only able to obediently squat down. With her covering me, I really didn't get rained on much, but Kotoe was soaked through. Fortunately, it didn't take long before the rain stopped. I stood up, proactively holding her wet little hand, and came to the electric scooter. "I will send you home now. Go back and take a shower immediately, did you hear me?" Kotoe was trembling all over from the cold, not hearing my words at all. She tugged at the corner of my clothes, making a murmured whisper. "Daiki, I'm so cold. Can you give me a hug?" Heartbroken, I touched her hair and then opened my arms to gently hug her. Feeling the beloved embrace, Kotoe instantly felt it wasn't that cold anymore. She slowly raised her head to look at me, and I also looked down at her face, the gaze of the two intersecting together, and the atmosphere gradually became a bit strange. His cherry small mouth was very exquisite. Even without lipstick, it appeared very bright, making one unable to resist the thought of stealing a taste after looking for a long time. Finally, she spoke up once again, pleading in a very weak tone. "Daiki, can you reward me once?" This soft and sticky voice was just like an anesthetic, making my brain buzz and disobey commands, gently lowering my head. This Kotoe also cooperated very well by standing on tiptoe, and the two just embraced and kissed like this. However, accidents always arrive at beautiful moments. Because the two were too absorbed, they didn't notice that the center of gravity of them holding together was tilting to the right. With a snap sound rising, I unluckily fell to the ground. "Oh dear. Daiki, I'm sorry, I was too careless. You didn't get hurt from the fall, right?" "Ah, Daiki, you're bleeding. I will call 120 right now." Kotoe was flustered and thought of emergency rescue. While supporting me, she picked up her phone to make a call, deeply afraid that if it was late, something would happen to his beloved man. This fall wasn't light, but it couldn't blame Kotoe, it could only blame myself for not noticing. I forced my body up, looked down, and saw that the knee had been scratched, appearing a 2-centimeter long cut. This should have been scratched by some sharp position, when unluckily falling on the electric scooter. Although it looked very scary, It just needed to be treated a little bit. It wasn't a big deal. I'm not some celebrity. There's no need to go to the hospital just for breaking a bit of skin. Thinking of this, I hurriedly stopped her. Hey, Kotoe, no need to go to the hospital. I can do it myself. But Koto was very tough and even domineering. No way. It's all bleeding. How could we not go to the hospital? Don't move around first, lest the wound gets widened. 120 will be here immediately. I was very helpless. At this time, Kotoe couldn't be dissuaded no matter how one tried. However, her being like this was more like a real domineering female CEO, although the voice was still soft, cute, and sweet-looking. After a while, the ambulance arrived. Seeing this bleeding scene, they immediately lifted me onto the bed. But when they saw the bleeding wound, clearly, several doctors all stared at me and Kotoe with unbelievable gazes, as if saying, "No way, brother? Just this little wound needs emergency rescue?" Feeling their gazes, I covered my face in embarrassment. An hour and a half later, the time had already come to past 11 p.m. Inside a well-equipped premium hospital room, the doctor had already cleaned my wound with alcohol and bandaged it. Kotoe on the side also utilized the time just now to run to the independent bathroom to take a shower, and also changed into a set of clean clothes. Daiki, take medicine, right? Are you thirsty? Want to drink water? Do you eat apples? Are you cold? Daiki, talk to me, right? Feeling the care coming from Koto, I couldn't help but smile. No need, you rest quickly. Oh. Hearing this, only then did she sit down, waiting very obediently on the side for my command. The wound is bandaged. I want to be discharged from the hospital. But I didn't expect the originally obedient Kotoe to immediately turn into a babyishly fierce appearance to stop my behavior. No way! What if you get bumped or knocked when going out? What if the movement amplitude is too large and the wound splits open again? If it splits open and gets a bacterial infection, leading to thigh paralysis and worsening into whole body disability, the loss will outweigh the gain. So Daiki, you should just stay well in the hospital obediently. She pressed down on my shoulder, refusing to let me leave for dear life. After hearing the speech, she said, originally I felt it was nothing, but now I was a bit scared instead. Why did it feel like she was cursing me? I lay back on the bed, recalling the scene of embracing and kissing before, and the atmosphere inside the hospital room suddenly became quiet. Looking at me, Koto's little face also flushed with a blush. It seemed she also recalled that scene. Finally, 5 minutes later, she took the lead to speak up. Daiki, I've already talked to the management. Tomorrow, you don't have to go to work, just rest well here. Now it's not early either, how about sleeping? I glanced at him. Why did I feel myself being arranged clearly and plainly? But I can't sleep. I discovered that in such an environment, I had absolutely no sleepiness. However, Kotoe thought of a new trick again. Then, let me tell you a bedtime story. I was very speechless. I didn't need to be coaxed to sleep. I just simply didn't want to sleep. But Kotoe was muttering to herself, looking very serious and gentle. Once upon a time, there was a sleeping beauty. Hearing this, my face was full of black lines. This must be a story from 800 years ago, right? Seeing that I was a bit unhappy, Kotoe was very smart to immediately change to another one. Snow White and her 7 little lovers. After listening to her tell 5 stories in a row, I didn't fall asleep, but instead, Kotoe herself fell first. She rested her little face on the quilt in a daze, and before long her breathing became even, entering a deep sleep state. I saw that sleeping while sitting seemed very uncomfortable for her. So I quietly and slowly picked her up and placed her on the bed. Perhaps she was too tired, or perhaps she belonged to the category of people who sleep relatively deeply. She was like a child who couldn't grow up. Such tossing around didn't wake her up. I touched her little head, said goodnight, and then turned around to leave. I still preferred going home to sleep because there was a hugging pillow with air at home. I have a habit. If I don't hold something, I won't be able to sleep. The next morning, a ray of sunlight shone into the hospital room. Koto's curled-up body slowly opened up. The sunlight was truly too warm, making her a bit hot. She slowly got up, stretching like a cat taking a nap. Hihei, after she saw the place where she slept clearly, only then did she recall yesterday's matter. It's not right. The person who should be lying on the hospital bed isn't me, it should be Daiki. But how did I occupy the bed? Thinking of this, she began to blame himself again. Ling Ling, Daiki is the patient, yet I actually slept on the patient's bed and even slept for a whole night. Looking at the empty room, she suddenly realized, ah, my Daiki is gone. Kotoe quickly got up, searching under the bed as well as in the wardrobe for a long time, but couldn't find her beloved man. This made her almost go crazy. Fortunately, at this time, a nurse pushed the door and entered. She hurriedly went forward to ask, "Your sister, where did the patient who was with me yesterday go?" Him, ah? He left yesterday night, and he was very concerned about you, saying not to disturb you. Hearing this, Koto's mind buzzed for a while, like a deflated ball, collapsing straight onto the bed. Only now did she understand that it turned out her lover had escaped yesterday night while she herself was sleeping. She wanted to cry a bit. Clearly, Daiki's leg was injured, yet he still insisted on leaving, which made her think for a moment that she had been rejected once again. She suddenly thought of something, her eyes lit up, and she braced herself up again. Kotoe washed up casually, took her phone, took a taxi, and rushed straight towards the company. When she arrived at the company in a flurry and saw that familiar profile, only then did she let out a sigh of relief. At this moment, I was reviewing a video of a little sister dancing, staring at the screen for a full half a minute. Seeing this, Kotoe got jealous again. She quietly came behind me, leaning her body down. I was clicking the mouse when suddenly I felt a warm touch coming from my face, as a playful little fellow pecked a kiss on my face. I stiffened slightly, turned my head, and discovered it was Kotoe. I didn't expect her to be so bold as to launch a surprise attack, hurriedly reaching out to wipe off the red mark on my face. "Kotoe, what are you doing? So many people are watching." My face turned red. I discovered that I unexpectedly and uncontrollably surged with a trace of satisfaction. Koto on the side had a face full of smiles. "This is a morning kiss, oh?" On the porcelain white baby face, youth and vitality overflowed. And her smile was extremely beautiful, letting the surroundings, the employees who were still a bit drowsy, cheered up quite a bit. Could it be that Daiki doesn't like it? She tilted her little head with a face full of confusion. I lower my head helplessly, not knowing what to say for a moment. But this scene makes the single dogs in the company envious to no end, and they all discuss my straight guy behavior. Seeing that everyone around was staring at her, Koto walked into the office with a flushed little face. I really can't do anything about her. Who told her to be my top boss? Time flies and it reaches noon, and all the food chasers rush to the cafeteria like wild horses breaking their chains. The company's benefits are very good, with both Chinese and Western food available. And crucially, it's free. But just as I get up and prepare to head out, a pair of fair little hands rest on me from behind, making me freeze instantly. This familiar plot, this familiar routine. I turn my head to look, and sure enough, I see Koto's heart-stirring smile. Holy cow! When on earth did she get behind me again? Could it be that she really will follow me to eat? Can you stop clinging to me? I push her small hands away, quite annoyed. However, Kotoe doesn't care at all. She glances at the surrounding surveillance cameras, the corners of her mouth slightly raising. Daiki, just give in to me. The company's surveillance has already been completely pulled by me. Today, I must take your first blood. You can't escape from my palm. Hearing this, I am dumbfounded. You, don't do anything reckless. I will scream. Hearing my stuttering tone, Kotoe bursts into laughter. Ha ha! Just teasing you. You don't have to go to the cafeteria to eat today because I specially prepared a love bento for you myself. The portion is super huge and the taste is awesome. After saying this, Koto puts the already prepared bento on the table, a pink box, and inside the transparent lid, the color of the food is very bright, looking quite appetizing. No need. Since you made it with so much heart, you should eat it yourself. I pull away intending to leave. However, she is just like a naughty child, spreading her arms wide in front of me to stop me from going, "No way!" This is what I took 3 hours of cafeteria time to make. Today you are not allowed to eat anyone else's food. You can only eat mine. I laugh in my heart, quite dismissive. With the way you spoil me, I just won't eat it. Oh, Brother Chan, won't you at least take a bite? Seeing that the hard way doesn't work, Kotoe uses her soft and cute acting spoiled offensive again. She wraps her arms around me, then drills into my embrace to act spoiled, pushing me back to my workstation step by step. I am super helpless because I discover that once Koto starts acting spoiled, my own body will uncontrollably soften up. It's probably that something went wrong somewhere, so I must go to the hospital for a checkup later. Seeing me return to my seat, Kotoe smiles cheekily again. Hee, Brother Chen, take a quick bite. No, I remain stubborn. Suddenly, Kotoe's eyes roll around as she thinks of a brilliant idea. With a wicked smile, she pouts her cherry mouth at me. Then if you don't eat, I will keep kissing you until you do. After saying this, she makes a move to pout her bright red lips and leans closer to me. I am startled, staring with wide eyes at that cherry mouth, and repeatedly surrender. I was wrong. I'll eat, okay? What kind of sin did I commit in my past life to suffer this kind of inhuman torture? But seeing me show an expression of despising her lips, Kotoe whines and crosses her slender waist. What is this all about? Something that others couldn't get in a lifetime. He actually doesn't want. Truly annoying to death. I don't know what kind of ghost idea she is plotting, so I directly sit down. Kotoe hurriedly opens the box, and a heart-shaped egg appears in my eyes. Underneath the egg is some beef, as well as mushroom stir-fried meat, kung pao chicken, bean sprouts, tomatoes, and corn, counting it up. There are a total of 11 different dishes, which looks pretty good. I use chopsticks to pick up a piece of chicken and throw it into my mouth. Kotoe looks on from the side with anticipation. How is it? Is it delicious? I look into her eyes and chew carefully for a while. Although these dishes look very bright, I really didn't chew out any delicious flavor. Did you not put salt? In the end, I give such an evaluation. Hearing this, Kotoe is a bit disappointed, and she rubs her small hands embarrassedly. That. I am always clumsy, so I didn't dare to put salt. Looking at her self-blaming appearance, I unexpectedly think she is so cute. And even the kung pao chicken in my mouth seems to turn sweet. Is it very unpalatable? If so, forget it. Let's not eat this and go to the cafeteria instead. She feels very sad and wants to take back the plate with her small hands. I find it a bit funny, so I reach out my hand and stop her. It's passable. It's not too unpalatable. I can eat it down. Actually, I am lying to her. Not putting salt is a small matter, but the key is that there are even stranger flavors inside, which is simply a dark cuisine. I am also afraid that this girl wouldn't be able to eat it herself and would then pour it out, so wouldn't that be a waste? Subsequently, I quickly shovel down the food. Koto's eyes are full of surprise. If you like eating it, I will make it for you every day from now on. I couldn't hold it back and spray a mouthful. No need! I hurriedly wave my hand. But it's not good to dampen her spirit. Although it's unpalatable, it shouldn't be wasted, and at least those fruits she bought are still good. Seeing me eat so heartily, Kotoe suddenly is also filled with appetite. Daiki, I want to eat too. Can you feed me? Hearing this, I proactively find a spoon for her. Anyway, with so much, I can't finish it by myself. But I didn't expect her to instantly become unhappy. No! I want to use your chopsticks! Otherwise, eating from your mouth is fine too. Hee hee! I am shocked upon hearing this. Good grief, she wants an indirect kiss again. I sigh helplessly, handing the chopsticks in my hand to her, but she doesn't take them. Instead, opening her cherry small mouth, I want feeding. I roll my eyes, pick up a piece of beef, and drop it into her mouth. The next second, Kotoe's little face turns red, excitedly holding it in. Her face, which was originally full of happiness, suddenly turns into a bitter, gored expression when tasting the food. So unpalatable! Looking at her aggrieved appearance, I couldn't hold back my laughter. How can it be this unpalatable? She doubts her life a bit. How can she still be a virtuous wife and good mother like this? I smile faintly to indicate it doesn't matter. Being able to eat one's fill is enough. Soon, an exquisite bento is eaten by me until only a small piece of egg is left. Seeing this, Kotoe returns to her own office with satisfaction. Time flies and it reaches 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Since there is no need to work overtime today, I happily take my things and leave. Kotoo in the office also finishes the work in her hands ahead of time at this time, running out to look for me, but when she comes to the seat, she doesn't see my figure. She looks left and right, suddenly becoming a bit lost. "Leaving so fast? Can't you wait for me? Smelly straight guy?" She stomps her little feet on the ground angrily, and my colleague, Shota, seeing the scene, quickly adds a sentence on behalf of me who left. "President, he went to the library, saying he wants to cultivate his sentiment." Kotoo seems to catch some life-saving straw. She nods to Shota, and then like a little rabbit, hops and jumps out the door. The colleagues around who haven't left yet see this scene, and one after another look contemptuous. Why is Daiki's brain so dense? The president is such a beautiful big beauty. How on earth did he manage to avoid meeting her? Yeah, if she were given to me, my child could already call me dad. Do your beautiful dream. She should be given to me. On the other side, Kotoo quickly arrives at the library. She pokes her head in front of the glass main door, as if playing hide-and-seek with someone. After seeing the target, she walks into the main door joyfully, and while walking, she still stares at me. As the footsteps get closer and closer, the corner of my mouth hooks, and I still lower my head reading the book. Early on just now, the corner of my eye saw Kotoo. She pulls out a book from the nearest bookshelf column, blocking it in front of her face, and seeing that I have no reaction, only then does she lose her patience to speak up. "Wow, Daiki, what a coincidence. After work, I can actually bump into you here." A laughter as pleasant as a maple forest makes me raise my head to take a glance. It's just that my gaze looks like looking at a little dummy. "Oh, why do you look at me with this kind of look? I also came to read books. Could it be that you think I followed you here? I'm not that bored." Hearing this, my gaze transforms into looking like a big dummy. Kotoo can't hold it together a bit. She firmly grips the book in her hand. "Really? If you don't believe it, look, I have a book in my hand to testify." I am immediately somewhat speechless. "Big brother, your book is held upside down. Are you reading a heavenly book?" Hearing this, she is like a cat with flared fur, immediately holding the reversed book properly. Over. Exposed. Originally wanted to behave a bit more naturally. Simply, she doesn't pretend either, putting the book in her hand away properly with one move, and then obediently sits by my side. "What are you looking at, Ashwai?" I give a perfunctory response. I originally just felt interested here and took a random look, but as a result, I saw such a comic book, so I couldn't hold back picking it up to look for a while. Since childhood, I liked various anime, manga, and games. It's just that after graduation, I rarely touch these things. So I decided that next, I will finish reading all the unfinished manga here completely. Just like One Piece and Conan. Kotoo moves a bit closer to me, resting her little face on my shoulder. She doesn't like reading manga, but she likes looking at her beloved man. I raise my eyebrows. How did this become a natural habit? I gently shake my shoulder, but she appears very comfortable. "After work, why aren't you going home yet?" "Hehe, I'll wait until you leave before leaving, otherwise, what if you block me?" Kotoo is not happy after hearing this. She stares with her beautiful eyes. "Then, as fairness, you block me too. Try it, it's very easy to succeed." My face is full of black lines. How does it seem like I am still the one losing out? "Daiki, let's listen to music together." Kotoo takes out her phone. The moment I see her phone case, I am a bit surprised. Seeing this, she explains with a giggle, "This photo was taken during a physical education class. When you were in your sophomore year of high school, because you were late for the physical education class, you were punished by the teacher to running with sweat all over your body, and your clothes were wide open, looking very good. So I took a picture to use as a phone case." I put down the manga in my hand, looking at her somewhat speechlessly. What on earth is so good-looking about me being punished to run on the playground? And I clearly remember that after running on the playground that time, because I really couldn't hold back my urine, I hid in the bushes and nourished the flowers with fertile water for a while. Could she have been taking pictures from behind at that time too? Then Kotoo opens the phone, and the cover of the screen is another photo. Could it be that you took this during lunch break?" I guessed something. Kotoo nods. This one is what I took advantage of the lunch break to secretly come to your class to take. At that time, your position was by the window in the third row from the back, and you slept so soundly, super good-looking, so I couldn't hold back and secretly took a bite of a kiss from you. Hee! Kotoe says these words with a very small voice, seemingly just like doing sneaky things back then. But I furrow my brows and ask a sentence. Kissing where? Of course the mouth. Such a good opportunity. She reveals a sneaky, wicked smile, but it's also quite cute. My expression freezes. Could it be that during high school my first kiss was gone? Seeing that I am really pondering, Kotoe covers her mouth and clears her throat with a smile. Ha ha! Daiki, just teasing you. There were so many people at that time, it was very difficult for me to sneak a photo of you. Hearing this, I immediately let out a sigh of relief. And Koto unlocks the phone with a GU sound, and a more surprising scene appears in front of my eyes once again. I see almost the wallpaper of every app has been completely changed by her. I don't know how she took them, but she actually saved so many photos and set them into various wallpapers. How bored is this cat? Also, could the major Kotoe chose be paparazzi? Looking at her phone again, it seems very old. You are so rich, why don't you change to a phone? Kotoe smiles bashfully. Oh, inside this phone is entirely your photos. How could I bear to change it? Subsequently, she happily takes out the already prepared earphones, putting the other head into my ear without obtaining consent. Since the earphones are already worn, I don't object anymore. A piece of beautiful music rises, and the two are just like a couple who agreed to come to the library to listen to songs together. This scene is sweet to the extreme. I don't know how long passed, but the two enjoy playing through the quiet time and go downstairs together. Daiki, very tired today, right? How about I send you home? My car has gas today, oh. Right. The weather forecast says today is still very chilly. Maybe it's gonna rain. Maybe it will even hail. And it's also possible to snow ahead of time. Very dangerous. And on a rainy day, the road is slippery. What if you accidentally fall down? What if at this time, a big truck comes from the opposite side again? What should be done then? So Daiki is still a little bit safer inside my car. Kotoe grips my sleeve and stands on tiptoe, quite expectant. I of course know her small calculations, so I won't agree to her, and why do I always feel she is cursing me? Under such bright skies, you saying it's raining is fine, but what is the deal with hailing and snowing? I grin. A real man must bravely say no. Thinking of this, I look at Kotoe. Humph! I just won't. Today, even if the heavenly King Laozi comes, I am also going to ride my small electric scooter home. After saying this, I wave my hand at her and directly turn around to leave. But hearing this, Kotoe doesn't feel disappointed, instead quietly hooking the corner of her mouth. On the other side, I come to the side of my small electric scooter. I just like going home, blowing the wind like this at night, feeling... However, when I kick down the kickstand, insert the key, and start it, I find the small electric scooter somehow can't turn at all. Eh? No power? Impossible, right? I fully charged it, and it only ran about 2 kilometers. I crouch down with some doubt to check the battery. Finding the battery has no problem. But looking backward, only then do I discover the seriousness of the matter. The most crucial component of the electric scooter was taken off by someone. Damn it! Who is it? Who stole my chain, so lacking in virtue? Just when I am incredulous about who on earth is so bored, suddenly from behind comes the sound of a 4-wheeled car driving over. I turn my head to look, and it's a pink Maserati Quattroporte. The one sitting in the driver's seat is precisely Kotoe. This car is very beautiful, and the person in the car is even more beautiful. That delicate face like a doll looks at me through the window with doubt. Oh, Daiki, who stole your chain? Who is so bored, Truly damaging to morals, too detestable. Ever since I saw her, I tightly stare at her, because I always feel she is smiling, seemingly as if she did some happy thing. Daiki, look, your car is already like this, how can you still drive it? How about I send you back first? This car, I will call the secretary to tow it to get repaired later. She blinks her cute, beautiful eyes with a very caring appearance, and I am still tightly staring at her. The atmosphere inside and outside the car is extremely quiet. After holding it back for a few seconds, Kotoe finally can't resist. She bursts into laughter. I glare at her fiercely. What are you laughing at? Finally exposed, right? My older female cousin gave birth to a child today. I am very speechless. What kind of rotten excuse is this? Originally, I wanted to curse the person who stole my chain, but thinking about it now, forget it. Only now do I recall that before, I saw Kotoe's hand had a bit of smudge, looking like it touched grease and wasn't washed clean, and before, when sitting together, I could always smell a faint residual gasoline smell on her small hands. At that time, I didn't care either, but at this time, having watched several thousand episodes of Conan, I instantly understand. The truth is only one! Kotoe, return my scooter chain to me! My tone is very serious. Hearing this, she has a face full of shock, directly covering her small mouth. Could it be that Daiki is a detective, detecting clues? So powerful! Seeing that she was seen through, her expression begins to dodge, and she stutters in, refuting me. I don't have it! Really? Daiki, you can't frame and falsely accuse me. You have to have evidence. I directly step forward, pointing to her cute and pure white small hand. Give me your hand. My command makes Kotoe have a bit of small fear for a time. Her hands obediently leave the steering wheel and stretch over. What's wrong? What did I do wrong to hit my hands? She even thinks I am going to punish her, and her small expression is very aggrieved. Seeing this small appearance of hers, even if I really wanted to hit her hands, I absolutely wouldn't have the heart to do it. Besides, I'm not that bored, just picking up her hand to put to my own nose side to sniff seriously. After confirming the culprit, I stare at her with a look of, see for yourself, smell for yourself, where did the machine oil smell on it come from? Also, you should grow some mind. The oil dirt in the palm of your hand wasn't even washed clean. Kotoe is dumbfounded, immediately retracting her own small hands. How could it be? I clearly rubbed hard with washing powder, she murmurs to herself, and upon taking a look, it really wasn't cleaned thoroughly. Originally thought it was a flawless plan, but unexpectedly it was pierced through by him with one glance, indeed worthy of the man I took a fancy to. The matter is like this. Probably at 3 o'clock, she took advantage of me being busy to quietly come to the side of my electric scooter, thinking of using the simplest method to paralyze the car. She looked for a long time and finally found that the most crucial part is the chain, so she crouched down and reached out to dismantle it. But having no experience at all, dismantling the chain took her a full hour before finally taking it off intact and without flaws. As a result, unexpectedly, it was still discovered by him. She raises her head, looking at me awkwardly with a silly smile. Ha ha ha! Cut the laugh, return the chain to me. I stretch out my hand with an undeniable appearance. I don't know, Kotoe sophistically argues. Her little face is aggrieved and she rubs her small hands, clearly knowing she is wrong, but just won't change. Seeing her lowering her head, for a time I really can't get angry. Not giving it, right? Fine. Very good. I walk back, directly leave the electric scooter in place, turn around, and leave. Seeing this, Kotoe immediately starts the car to chase up. Daiki? Angry? Sorry, I was wrong. Don't be angry, okay? This is not good for your body. The chain is not broken. I just temporarily stored it in the locker. It's still well. I will never dare to do it next time. Really, don't dare. Pay attention to me for a tiny bit. While driving the car to move slowly by my side, she systematically and patiently admits her mistake. I see her attitude is considered sincere, so I didn't get angry anymore. It's just that right now I don't want to talk to her yet. That, since your car temporarily can't be driven, then why not sit in my car? I'll send you home. Count it as my apology, okay? Don't want to. Walking is healthy. I lift my chest and pout my lips, not wanting to sit in her car yet. As for the chain upstairs, forget it. The company door is already locked. Going up once is too troublesome. Let's talk about it tomorrow. And Kotoe just moves forward inch by inch like this, like a butler requesting the young master to go home to inherit hundreds of billions of assets. In the end, my legs are even sore from walking, looking at Kotoe still following by the side, endlessly talking, tirelessly chattering, saying gentle words. That appearance seems to be that if she doesn't escort myself to home, she won't leave, which makes me thoroughly compromise. All right, just this once, not to be repeated as a precedent. At this time, Koto's voice is almost hoarse. Seeing me get in the car, she finally lets out a sigh of relief. But closely following, she frowns miserably again. Alas! Why is my Daiki harder to coax than a girl, ah? She completely didn't expect that she, this domineering female president acting as a driver for him, he even didn't want it. What is this all about? I get in the car and fasten the seatbelt, taking a glance around. Have to say, Maserati indeed is very eye-catching, especially this female President Series pink model. But I still feel unappealing. This car, although very good, indeed loses to my own electric scooter in Ghostfire form. Even stepping on the accelerator doesn't have that kind of crackling starting sound. Truly too garbage. The two casually chat along the way, and finally arrive at the old residential area where I rent a place to live. Kotoe selects a parking space, seriously parking the car well before being willing to let me down. I am very puzzled. Isn't sending me home meaning she leaves? Why put it in the parking space? Kotoe, I am home. You go home too. Pay attention to safety. Bye-bye. I cast a somewhat panicked glance at her, then immediately pull my legs and run. However, Kotoe lightly leaps from the car, her two pairs of small feet like windfire wheels, stepping on afterimages, chasing up. Kotoe, what are you doing? Suddenly the shoulder is gripped by her again, and I sigh helplessly. I've already sent you home. Don't you invite me to drink a cup of tea? So anxious to drive me away. I stretch out a finger slightly bent, then gently flick her that blow and shatter skin, and sound rises, and Kotoe squeezes out tears with effort, letting out a small cat being bullied shriek. You dismantled my chain, causing me to have no way to ride the electric scooter home. Now you still want to drink tea? Hee hee. I smile with contempt, of course knowing she wants to go to my home to play or do something even more absurd to seek further development. I, as an old straight guy, of course, absolutely won't let this kind of thing happen. But this little fellow's skin? Why is it so tender? I just lightly flicked like this and a big patch turned red. Ying ying ying! Smelly Daiki, you bully me. She covers her forehead, her eyes having a bit of small resentment. Looking at this appearance of hers, suddenly I feel a bit self-blaming in my heart. Does it really hurt? I have a kind of thought of wanting to go up to help her rub, but it was quickly dismissed by myself. Want to drink tea, right? You wait here. I'll go up and get it for you. No, I want to stay at your house for a while, okay? Just a while. Finally, Kotoe let out a spoiled, unbearable voice and rushed up to grab my shoulders. I guessed her little mind, waved my hand at her, and said a sentence, "Dream on beautifully." Hearing this, Kotoe was super unconvinced and thought of a new trick again. Ying ying ying, Daiki, you are bullying me, a homeless person. Her voice carried a crying tone, with a face full of a very pitiful appearance. What do you mean? The corner of my mouth twitched, full of question marks. Because my house caught fire before, I'm too pitiful, ying 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 ying. Boring. This is too fake, right? And she is completely fake crying, I didn't care about her, directly walking forward alone. As a result, this little fellow just held onto my arm and wouldn't let go. Then I'll tell the truth. Actually, it's because the matter between us was known by my parents, and they are very unhappy, saying that when I go back, they will definitely criticize me harshly, so I don't dare to go home. And isn't this all because of you? She felt so aggrieved that she pushed the responsibility onto me, stamping her feet. Holy cow! What the heck? A person lies at home, and disaster comes from heaven. Also, what, matter between us? Don't speak so ambiguously, okay? There is absolutely nothing between us. I directly smirked. Deserve it. You are so rich, going out to rent a place to live is fine too. Hearing this, Kotoe lowered her head. The houses outside all have surveillance, not safe at all. I was very speechless. So staying at my house is safe? Clearly it's even more unsafe, okay? I am also a man, I had already walked to the floor door of my rented room, but the little fellow beside me still had no intention of letting go. I want to live together with you. This way I won't be afraid of my mom and dad. Is it okay? While she was speaking, she used her small nose to rub against my shoulder again. Quote, well, I'm afraid, if such a good Chinese cabbage is rounded up by a pig, Wouldn't her old dad carry a knife over? But I actually didn't have even a bit of a thought to eat up this portion of Chinese cabbage. For the rent, I can increase your salary, okay? And I can also drive you back every day. Oh, no means no. I was very heartless, myself having a hard time acting like a salted fish. What is the deal with increasing the salary again? The two just kept clinging like this and continued to walk inside the door, arriving in front of the elevator. Beside us, there happened to be some passengers about to enter, and Kotoe was still beside me, relentlessly chattering, "Daiki, just let me live here, right? I'm super well behaved. Can wash clothes, can cook, absolutely won't cause you trouble." I shook my head. If there's a first time, there will be a second time. I won't fall for it. Even if I jump down from here, I absolutely won't give in. However, unexpectedly after entering the elevator, she launched an even more powerful offensive. There were quite a few people riding around, a few students after school, as well as 2 aunties. I originally intended to use the pure loyalty, immovable kung fu, waiting for her to give up by herself. Suddenly, a warm touch came from my ear, letting me uncontrollably let out an enjoying sound. "Kotoe, what are you doing? Don't be like this." I slightly turned my head and saw Kotoe actually closing her beautiful eyes, standing on tiptoe, opening her sandalwood small mouth and biting my ear. Is this something a normal man can endure? No! My body instantly became a bit weak. The other people in the elevator, seeing this scene, instantly revealed a look of contempt, and the people all avoided this pair of double dogs. The 2 older aunties also couldn't help shaking their heads, thinking in their hearts that, indeed, the young people nowadays know how to play. "Kotoe, you quickly loose your mouth. Ah, we've arrived home." I was very helpless. Out of the elevator opposite was the main door, but she was still biting and not letting go. "Ah, then have you agreed to me?" Kotoe licked the corner of her mouth, looking at my ear, calculating in her heart that if she heard an unhappy answer, she would bite down again. I really could do nothing about her. "You first let go, I need to get the keys, oh." Hearing this, only then did she reluctantly and obediently let go. I fumbled around, inserting a key from my pocket into the rental main door. The corner of my eye noticed that she was still looking at me. Seemingly, as long as I had a bit of a strange movement, she would attack over. The door was about to open soon, but during this time I suddenly turned my head to look at her, revealing a wicked smile. "Wow, there is a cockroach under your feet." Hearing this, Kotoe instantly, like a cat with flared fur, quickly retreated. Where is there a cockroach? Help, help, ah!" It could be seen she was very afraid, already hiding to the wall corner. I took advantage of this opportunity to enter the door first, then left a slit, exhorting a sentence to her. "Kotoe, I don't need you to help me wash clothes and cook. You should go home early, oh. Heard me?" After saying this, with a P.A. sound, I shut the door. Kotoe came back to her senses, her little face red with anger. "Detestable! Unexpectedly was played by Daiki again!" She came to the doorway, puffing with anger, heavily knocking a few times. "Daiki, you big liar! Woo! Do you not want me anymore? So heartless! Ah! Daiki! I was wrong. Let me in, please." Behind the door, I had been listening to her movements all along, but I didn't respond. This can't spoil her, only wishing she goes back early to rest, plus myself was also tired. After a while, the voice outside the door finally got smaller and smaller, until there was not any movement. I heard the sound of the elevator starting, and only then temporarily put down my heart. She should have already left, right? Wait. Kotoe is a quite sensitive girl. Is there a possibility that she is crouching outside crying right now? The more I thought, the more uneasy I became, so I quietly opened a sliver of the door slit. Outside didn't come the expected crying sound. I put down my heart and opened the door to look, however, at the split second I opened the door. Suddenly lunged over, she gave me a big bear hug. "Ayo!" In an instant, being entangled by a clingy little cat, my center of gravity was unstable, directly falling backward. "Smelly Kotoe, you sneak attack. Ha ha, you indeed still care about me. Otherwise," Kotoe again gently rewarded a bite of a kiss on my mouth. "Get up, right? Is it fun pressing me down like this?" "Fun! I want to hold you. Otherwise, what if you drive me out of the house door again? So you just hold me up, right?" I was very helpless, holding this mischievous fellow up. At this time, I discovered that she used her hands to cushion her own back of the head. Just now landing seemed to press her painfully, right? Or was it that she intentionally cushioned it? Truly a girl who makes one's brain expand. The faces between the two were attached very, very close, breaths intertwining together, but Kotoi didn't take advantage of the danger. It was just that her face was brimming with a cute smile. A-G-U-G-U. Sound rose, and the bellies of the two at this moment simultaneously sent out a dissatisfied sound. Koto seemed to discover something, instantly taking a jolt. "Daiki, you're hungry, right? Don't drive me away again. Let me make food for you, right?" I watched her jump down from my body, quickly walking into the kitchen. At this time, I already didn't have any more mind to drive her away, because I discovered no matter how I drove, I would worry whether she walked or didn't walk. Suddenly, I thought of a terrifying thing, hurriedly shouting anxiously, "Wait! Kotoi! Quickly let go of my food!" Hearing this, Kotoi's little face was puzzled. "Why? I recently newly learned a dish of tomato fried egg and want to make it out for you to taste. Oh, you go arrange the bowls and chopsticks." "Right, I'll cook." I hurriedly, gently persuaded her, recalling the bento she made for me yesterday. A feeling of nausea, straight rushed to the throat. Hearing that I wanted to cook for her, Koto very obediently picked up the bowls and chopsticks, washed them in the sink, and then neatly arranged them on the table, making one feel like about to eat some grand thing. After about an hour, the fragrant food and dishes were served on the table, a total of 3 dishes, respectively tomato fried egg, sweet and sour pork ribs, and steamed crucian carp, all being some home-cooked dishes. Fragrant, too fragrant! The corner of Kotoi's mouth flowed with saliva, and then bashfully picked up a tissue to wipe. Seeing it, I felt a bit funny, so I extended chopsticks, adding a piece of sweet and sour pork ribs for her. Seeing this, Kotoi instantly felt a sense of happiness bursting the capacity. She pursed her cherry small mouth. "Thank you, Daiki. Love you, oh." I smiled and didn't take it as a big deal, picking up a piece of crucian carp meat and also beginning to taste the delicacies. The two just ate food with nothing happening between them, occasionally having communication in the middle, also casually chatting along. After finishing dinner, I went to the kitchen to wash dishes, and Kotoi helped to wipe the table. The two, just like a young couple, had a uniform division of labor. Soon I finished washing the dishes, casting a glance at Koto on the side. "You first sit for a bit, I'll take a shower and then come to arrange you. Not allowed to touch my things carelessly. Nothing is allowed, heard me?" Hearing this, Koto had a face full of reluctance, but very obediently agreed. No choice, whatever he says is what goes. She of course has to listen to the words of the adult person. However, Kotoi's gaze from beginning to end was flooded with a streak of burning hot. She licked the corner of her lips, waiting for the male god to step into the shower the moment it happened. I saw that sneaky small expression of hers and casually added a sentence. "Not allowed to eavesdrop on me taking a shower. If let me know, I'll definitely fix you up well." Who would have thought after Kotoi heard it? Like some important thing was snatched away, she instantly puffed her cheeks, her little face becoming super reluctant. "What? Even this is not allowed? Then wouldn't I have come in vain?" I, for a time, was a bit dumbfounded, letting out an "ah" sound, feeling myself didn't hear clearly what this child was saying, thinking it was myself heard wrong. Seeing this, Kotoi explained, "Nothing! You rest assured to take a shower, right? I will protect the escort for you." My face was full of black lines. Clearly being protected and escorted by her is the most dangerous thing. But I also didn't care too much, directly walking into the bathroom to begin preparing to wash down. After about 2 minutes, I finished taking a shower, came to the kitchen, and picked up the tidied-up garbage bag. Then I turned my head, shouting toward Kotoi, who was sitting in the living room, "I'm going out to dump the garbage. You are not allowed to touch anything. Oh, quick, go take a shower, right? And then sleep early." Hearing this, she stood up, with a face full of seriousness, making a professional gesture. "Yes, officer. Guarantee completion of the mission." I smiled, turning around to go out, leaving her alone at home. There shouldn't be any problem, right? Fortunately, myself could come back very quickly. Although I thought so, Kotoi, who was alone at home, didn't think this way. She giggled and ran into my room. Oh dear, Daiki's room is so fragrant. Fragrant, ah! Is there any pajamas here I can wear? She muttered to herself, coming to the front of the computer desk, carelessly casting a glance, instantly attracted by a few figures on the desk. A few minutes later, I came back from the outside, closing the door, wanting to enter the room. However, Kotoe blocked me at the doorway, temporarily unwilling to let me enter. I looked at her with puzzle, discovering her little face had a trace of nervousness. Daiki, ask you a thing, right? Are the figures on your desk very expensive? Where can they be bought? Yeah, very expensive, ranging from several thousands to 10,000s, and most of them are limited editions. Ask you one more thing. On the table there is an Iron Man with the biggest head. How expensive is this one? The most expensive is him. Global limited to 50 pieces. This was still me dragging a friend abroad to help before it was bought. Limited? Kotoe's heart gave a thud. She didn't understand why a man would spend so much money to buy these. Of course now, money is not a problem. Mainly limited means out of stock. Again, asking a thing. You say if someone accidentally broke your Iron Man? No, accidentally ruined it, shattered into dregs. What would you do to him? Kotoe said these words carrying some crying tone. I instantly understood, gritting my teeth. Then I might press him onto the bed and fiercely give a beating. Kotoe was afraid, pitifully leaning by the side of the wall. I watched her put her two small hands behind her back, looking like holding something, so without a second word, I pulled her hands up. Sure enough, I saw a damaged Iron Man, the surface becoming jagged, looking like being dropped and then stuck up using 520 glue. I stared at the Iron Man that accompanied my whole youth, hands somewhat trembling. Sorry, I just now felt he was so big, just wanted to pick him up to play, but didn't hold firmly and accidentally broke it. I found 520 glue to stick it, but the effect looks like it's not too good. I am willing to pay 10 times the price as compensation. Begged Daiki to scold me lighter. She lowered her head, small hands grabbing the corner of the clothes, with a face full of making a good appearance of being scolded and beaten. I could see her attitude of admitting mistake was very correct. Iron Man, although ruined very heavily, Kopotu was also very careful piece after piece to piece it up, even not short of a single fragment. It's just that above were added a few cracks. And looking at her appearance of waiting to be scolded by myself, how could I still get angry? I was even afraid that if I just lightly said a word to her, she would self-blamingly cry a whole downpour without stopping. After all, it was still myself having some reluctance to see her cry. Forget it anyway. It's also a pile of decorations. The restoration is considered not bad. Let's leave it at that. Hearing this, Kotoe widened her nervous eyes, her eyes going up and down, very puzzled. She herself was almost about to squeeze out tear blossoms. How come Daiki said no scolding and then no scolding? She had a face full of seriousness, carefully lifting my hand. The money, I will definitely compensate you. Thank you, Daiki, for being able to forgive me. All right, quick, go take a shower, right? The time is not early. I pulled out my hand tightly held by her, waving impatiently. Okay. Kotoe lowered her head with secret joy, bypassing from my side, and then directly went to the bathroom. I shook my head, looking at my own Iron Man figure, still with heartache holding it up. I don't know how long passed, but I was outside pouring water to drink. Suddenly, the bathroom came with Kotoe's calling voice. Daiki, I forgot to take my pajamas. Can you help me take it for a tiny bit? This body of a soft and cute request, but when I heard it, the chest cavity for some reason suddenly became dry and hot. Really, not taking clothes. What kind of shower are you taking? Then how do I hand it to you? I slightly complained, but inside the bathroom came her sweet laughter. Hee hee! I didn't lock the door. Oh, welcome at any time. Holy cow. Not taking clothes is one thing. Unexpectedly, she even didn't close the door. This behavior is already very obvious. I listened to the sound of the shower head dripping onto the tender skin, throat very dryly answering a sentence. I'll look for it for you, but I will only place it on the outside counter. You come out yourself to get it. Right. Inside the door, Kotoe revealed a small expression of hating that iron can't become steel. Oh dear, is it still too far? I can't reach it. You help me send it in, right? I pondered for a moment, somewhat reluctantly. I can send it in for you, but if you dare to pull a sneak attack or make some strange actions, I will stop your water heater, bathroom heater, and lights, all of them, and then let you take a cold water shower. Know that? You are truly too bad." She whined for a long time, and while being angry, she was splashing water, although she herself now had already washed almost. But if you really were this heartless, she herself would also feel quite bad. Thinking about it, she could only put down the small calculation in her heart. Soon I found a pink bunny pajamas very suitable for a girl to wear. This piece of clothing was what my great-grandmother left behind accidentally when she came over to travel 2 years ago. Didn't expect today it happened to come in handy. I took this pink clothing to the bathroom, tentatively shouting a sentence, "I'm coming in, oh!" No response. I opened the door, seeing Kotoe quietly lying in the bathtub. Her little face was puffed up with anger, the whole person soaked in water, only revealing a tiny head. "I'll put it here for you. Remember to wear it later." While putting the clothing on the small counter of the water tap, I closely monitored her behavior. If she had a sliver of not being right, I would close my eyes. Kotoe angrily combed a high ponytail, then buried her chin under the warm water, looking like a super cute appearance, which made me suddenly recall an anime character, my senpai. I came back to my senses and hurriedly shifted my gaze, then turned around, about to leave. Kotoe looked at this cowering appearance of mine, really wanting to move a bit, so she suddenly stretched out her small hands in the water, opening claws and waving teeth to wave in the air. This sound truly gave me a jump. I hurriedly closed my eyes, fast-stepping walked out. "Hee hee, Daiki is so cute, ah!" Closing the door, I again heard the silver bell-like laughter. She unexpectedly was mocking myself, and even said I am cute. Cute my foot, ah! After a while, Kotoe finished taking a shower and came out. A pink-bunnied, beautiful girl, stunningly appearing in front of my eyes. This body of a furry bunny pajamas was very suitable for her, seemingly just like tailored for her. And when she came out, she used the hat brim to cover her little head, which made her add a few more points of innocence and cuteness. Daiki really is, so you had already prepared such a cute pajamas for me long ago. I stood at the doorway looking at the cute little rabbit in front of me somewhat blankly. I was almost about to be melted by the cuteness. This rabbit's eyes blinked and blinked, and the tail part still had a white small ball shaking. That place was exactly where I, besides the rabbit ears, most wanted to pinch for a bit. I didn't explain too much to her, just joyfully patted her head. Next, it arrived at the moment of allocating rooms. The house I rent is 2 rooms and 1 living room, so 1 person, 1 room is completely enough to use. I actually didn't expect Koto would sleep at my house today. Maybe she really quarreled with her mom and dad, right? But no matter what, since I've agreed to her, I can only let her sleep here. I carried her to the vacant room doorway, and Kotoe rubbed her small hands, looking at me expectantly. "Hee hee! Sleepy sleepo!" She was very happy. The pink, small ears on her head all stood up. "The room I have already tidied up for you. The Wi-Fi password is 88. Don't play too late. I'll sleep first. Good night," I exhorted like a father. After Kotoe heard it, the disappointment on her blank face was just like a landslide. "What? Could it be that we are not sleeping together?" "Koto, what are you thinking? There are 2 rooms. Why not sleep separately? Plus, I sleep always snoring, so my arrangement is not wrong." I stretched out my hand to grab the rabbit ears on her head, carrying her into the room. Koto revealed a resentful appearance, then used her soft, small fists to hammer on my chest. "Oh dear, detestable! Touching Bunny's ears carelessly will lead to pregnancy. I am very afraid of the dark. Can't you look after me for a bit? Sleep together, okay? I swear I absolutely won't do small actions." She again rushed up, using both hands to wrap around me, her voice still sweet and sticky. If it were an ordinary person, they might have long turned over to hold her in their arms to spoil, unfortunately. Sorry. I don't listen to her ghost words. Stop lying to people. Nowadays, who is still afraid of the dark? If you really are afraid, you can turn on the light. This bit of electricity bill I still can afford. Let's leave it at that. You let go of your hand for me. Hearing me say this, Kotoe angrily revealed her small tiger teeth. "No way! If you don't go with me, I will keep holding you. I most like to hear you snore, and when I sleep, I am also very well behaved. Furthermore, waking up early tomorrow morning, opening eyes can see me. Such a good-looking girlfriend lying beside. Isn't this a very happy thing? Ha! Boring. Stop adding scenes for yourself. Sleeping or whatever, if there's a first time, there will be a second time. This time, I absolutely must restrain. I tell you, no matter whether you let go or don't let go, anyway, even if the sky falls down, I also won't sleep with you. The two of us can consume until tomorrow morning. I resolutely glared at the koto in front of my eyes. Although holding a soft girl to sleep is very comfortable, but I still prefer my own cartoon inflatable pillow. Just like this, the two consumed at the doorway. From time to time, I went to tickle her ticklish flesh. She laughed straightly a few times, about to let go, but then insistently held me. But not after long, Kotoi thought in her heart that she couldn't stay at the doorway. While holding me, she exerted force to drag me toward her own room and then sent out ya force-exerting sounds. I left no trace inch by inch, making concessions, just like this. I was gradually dragged into the room by her. Next, Koto also particularly smartly used her butt to close the room door. Hee! Today, Daiki, you are mine! If it weren't for me letting her, where could she pull me? I felt extremely funny. Finally, Kotoi again consumed nearly 10 minutes of time, only then holding me onto the bed in one go. The two just maintained the posture of hugging, still being able to sleep peacefully. But I was also convinced by this little fellow. Don't her hands feel tired? Now it's already like this. Let's slowly consume, right? Anyway, I hold you to sleep one night is also one night I don't lose out. Koto was very proud, giggle laughing. But I, at this time, was hot all over, because her two legs now were tightly locking my back. And lowering my head, I could see that cute, smiling face under the rabbit ears. I intentionally, fiercely stared at her. Fine, then let's consume. Wait until you fall asleep. I will leave, humph. Sure, then I won't sleep for a night. We just like this. Looking at each other for a night is also good. She just laughed so happily, from time to time also intentionally making a posture of pouting lips wanting to kiss me. I was very helplessly avoiding her, that piece of pink, tender, cherry small mouth. If there were someone watching beside, they would definitely envy the person owning such a cute girlfriend, because Kotoi, no matter standing or lying down, that baby face without a sliver of extra fat is forever super cute. But these made me very headache. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes passed. Finally, the Kotoi who bragged took the lead to not be able to hold on. Her two eyes were drowsy, yawning, sleepy to the point of flowing out several drops of tears. And the other side of me was not sleepy, just somewhat helpless, because being tightly held by Kotoi, I must stiffen my body, maintaining a certain distance from her. Plus, in the air diffused her that warm, good-smelling body, making even more me, this hot-blooded young man, not have a tiny bit of sleepiness. After another 1 minute, the girl in front of my eyes, breathing became soft and uniform, small hands from both sides slowly loosening and sliding down, the thigh draped on my body also put down. I looked at this little fellow's appearance, shaking my head. Truly can do nothing about her. At this time, I felt the whole body sore and numb, wanting to get up, but the Kotoi, who slept into dreamland, her cute cherry small mouth suddenly said a piece of dream talk. Daiki, I want to say goodnight, can sleep fragrantly. Somewhat blurry, but I understood. A soft and sticky sentence directly drilled into my heart. Can kissing a bite sleep more fragrantly? Then let me break the precedent once, right? Looking at her naive and cute appearance when sleeping, it was simply cute to no edge. I didn't notice my own gaze at this moment became very doting. I lowered my head gently on Kotoi's tender forehead, dotted a bite. Then I directly turned around to leave. Don't know why, maybe it was myself, toward cute things completely having no resistance, right? Or maybe the weather was too hot and the brain was muddled. In short, just a kiss only. Next time myself definitely won't. I just consoled myself like this, returning to my own room. After locking the door, I lay on the bed. Originally, myself still wanted to play games for a while. But it was already 11 o'clock. Better sleep early. Right. Outside the window, the big wind was whizzing. Rain hitting the glass making ticking sounds. The cloudy sky weather made the night sky appear even blacker. 2 hours later, probably at 1 o'clock in the morning, the rain outside suddenly became bigger and began to strike. Koto was sitting in the room, beautiful dreams spread out in all directions, sleeping soundly. Suddenly, a booming sound rose. Outside the window struck down a lightning. Kotoe heard the thunder sound, just like a sharp thorn piercing into the ears. Almost instantly she woke up startled, her petite body shaking for a bit on the bed. Looking at the empty room, she began to be a bit afraid. The thunder outside didn't stop. Crackling again, struck down a heavenly tribulation, forming a flash on the window. The Kotoe, who was afraid of thunder, had long already curled up into the quilt, shivering. Many girls are afraid of thunder. Of course, she was no exception. And today's thunder sound was extraordinarily big, even scaring her to cry inside the quilt. "Woo! Daiki, I'm so afraid! Where are you, ah?" Her tears wet a big patch of the quilt. Hands praying when on earth the beloved man can appear at this time. "Ooh, I hate thunder." She cried a complete mess, finally unable to hold on. Hurriedly, like a lump of caterpillar, slid down from the bed, then stood on tiptoe to open the door and escape to the hall. Here was relatively quieter, because the balcony windows were all closed, but still could see the lightning flashing in the sky, booming. Koto in the dark slowly fumbled around, coming to my room door. She gently turned the door handle, but found howsoever also couldn't open. This could anxious, her small lips all trembled up. "Chiaki, can you open the door for a bit?" "I'm so afraid." "Can you accompany me for a while?" "Just a while. Is it okay?" "Wait until the thunder ends. I'll leave. Beg you." "Daiki, don't leave me alone. I'm so cold. Ah!" She knocked a few times on the room door, but didn't see any sign of opening the door. She gradually felt very lost. Listening to the thunder sound outside the window, she was like a puddle of water. Dragging the door, gradually slid down onto the ground, collapsing into a sitting position, crying. "But the dawn might be late, but will never be absent." "Ah, kacha!" Sound rose. The room door slowly was opened. Kotoe, seeing this, hurriedly slid into the door. This was a pair of big hands, with a princess carry posture gently lifting her up. The flawless body just like this fell into the warm embrace. "Kotoe, what's wrong? What did you come to my room for? Are you okay? Don't cry. Ah, I am afraid of thunder." Listening to this weak, pitiful voice, my heart instantly gave a shock, simply about to be heartbroken with pity. Kotoe used her little head to exert force to drill into my embrace, that appearance looking like seeking shelter. I thought for a while and probably understood what was going on, hurriedly carrying her to the bed, comforting her. "Good-o, baby, it's okay. I am here. Don't be afraid." After coaxing for a while, I wanted to loosen her to go close the door, but Kotoe tightly hugged me down. "Woo, Daiki, don't leave. Hold me tightly, okay?" Kotoe, flowing tears, requested. I smiled helplessly, gently wiping away the tears on her face, and I suddenly felt a bit self-blaming, but didn't understand where this guilt feeling came from. All right, good girl. Stop crying. I'll hold you to sleep." The two, just like this, mutually embraced. "Good girl, I protect you. Oh." I was like coaxing a child, and she slowly loosened her tensed body, not so afraid anymore. Gradually, Koto, under my soothing, had sleepiness hit. At the final moment, about to fall asleep, she softly and stickily said a sentence. "Daiki, kiss a bit and you don't drive me away, right?" She pouted her small mouth and kissed over. I didn't dodge, still patting her little head to soothe her. Not after a while, her breathing became uniform, however. My body was made dry and hot by that kiss. Damn it! Sleep is sleep. Why kiss me a bite again? Still letting me sleep or not? Looking at the soundly sleeping Koto, my face again unconsciously revealed a faint doting. How could I possibly drive her away? Subsequently, I closed my eyes, also intending to sleep. Didn't expect stubborn to the end. Still fell together with her. Truly, world affairs are volatile. Plans can't catch up with changes. But it seemed also couldn't be worse to anywhere. At least she can substitute for a pillow, right? I held her slender waist, chin knocking on her head, slowly falling asleep. The thunder outside was still very big, but the two people in the room slept deeper than anything. Time flies, and it arrives at the morning of the next day, the birds on the branches chattering outside the window. I took the lead to wake up, opening eyes, taking a glance around, discovering myself unexpectedly lying on the ground. My forehead was full of question marks. Wasn't I holding Coach Wei to sleep together? How did I run onto the ground? I slowly got up, finding the waist on my body pained heavily, like being smashed back and forth by something. And that rabbit girl? Kotoe was right spread out in all directions, lying on the bed. The sun was already so big and she hadn't woken up yet. And the current, her body was posed into a big character, like a spaceman. The position after a night of swinging had already come to the bed edge, even if just moving a tiny bit could at any time fall down. She, wearing the rabbit suit, revealed charming, big, long legs, at this time under the sun's shine white and dazzling. Only now did I recall that Kotoe sleeping is very unhonest. Almost every interval of time, she would appear a big movement once, and she herself had no perception. Estimated last night myself was just by her not carefully kicked down the bed. Vanished expectations. Such an exquisite, beautiful girl president. Sleeping unexpectedly is so unhonest. I let out a sigh, alas, like her character later, who still dares to marry her, who still dares to sleep together, truly causing sin. I shook my head, casting aside strange thoughts, then turned around to leave the room to wash up. By the way, to buy breakfast. 10 minutes later, I had even bought the breakfast back, but found Kotoe was still sleeping late. What time is it? Again, not getting up, fast late. I rolled up sleeves, dragging her to get up. Kotoe! I shocked chestens. Ok. However, she just small mouth, abba abba. A few times, again slept over. Helplessly, I had to do it, grabbing her fine white smooth wrist. Get up, little lazy pig! After pulling her whole person up, I originally thought she would wake up, however I let go of my hand. Her soft body like water collapsed down, once again, integrating into one with the big bed. Didn't expect myself did so much. She also just scratched her butt, then continued to sleep. This could get me exasperated. Looking at her good-looking sleeping face, whoever wouldn't think that such a good-looking female president sleeping late would also from time to time flow a bit of saliva? Although it smelled fragrant, I still decided to wash the pillow. This late sleep has no one else. Sleep deeper than a child. It looks like it needs using a stick to knock on the butt to wake up, is it? I tilted my head looking at her face, subsequently reached out toward her butt, gently patted 2 times, and Kotoe, after being hit, immediately used her small hand to cover. Her eyes even didn't open. Small mouth sent out a soft and sticky voice. Mom, let me sleep 1 more minute, right? Don't hit my butt. After I heard it, completely was about to be melted by this cute little fellow, face also unconsciously revealed a trace of doting. Seeing this condition, I also wanted to let her sleep a bit more, but she has to go to work. On the phone, there are already several missed calls. Kotoe, you first get up. I brought a washcloth to help her wash her face a bit. Only then did she slightly clear up a bit to sit up. But the whole person was still shaking her head, muddled. Ha! Daiki, morning good, ah! Kotoe used her small hands to pat my face. I slightly revealed a fierce expression. Good, my foot. You look yourself what time it is. What time is it, Daiki? I want a morning kiss. She approached me and pasted over. Morning kiss? Dream on beautifully. Cleared up, then fast changed clothes to eat breakfast. After saying this, I turned around, walking toward the living room. Kotoe was sitting on the bed, like a doll swinging her body. Ha! Must it be like this? A day without a morning kiss is imperfect. I listened to her silly voice line, rolling a white eye. About half an hour passed. Kotoe finally washed up well, finished eating breakfast, changed back into clothes, and sat on the stool at the doorway. Daiki, can you help me wear shoes? Shoes, ah? I'll be good and not make trouble. her exquisite small feet in the air swung back and forth. Following her voice, looking over, couldn't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva. T. This is also too good looking, right? The pink jade feet everywhere revealed a cute breath, even in the air, as if all carried a bit of sweet fragrance. Although myself am not a foot fetishist, but at this time couldn't help a movement in my heart. I slowly stood up, step by step, toward that flawless sacred object in my eyes walking,